What If? Chapter 2. Miracles are born out of suffering. I believe everyone is born with a purpose. My purpose in this moment is to share with you a small part of my story. Perhaps something from my experiences can help you on your journey to discover the answer to some of your what if questions. My mother was 16 when she gave birth to me. My father was older and ran the streets of Southern California. He didn't stick around for my birth. I was born to poverty, gang culture, and was surrounded by drugs and sexual deviance. When my mom had her second child, we moved away from California to Ohio. My brother's father had his own demons to contend with. His abuses caused our family to wander back and forth between California and Ohio until my mom finally broke free from the abuse and bought a tiny little house in Ohio. We settled in the part of town that was considered the bottom. The house cost her $24,000, a fortune for someone living off of welfare and odd jobs. It wasn't much, but it was our home. By the time I reached the age of 12, I had 3 siblings, of whom did not live with my mom. Life was pretty simple until an event occurred that changed everything. My father came back into the picture. He showed up wearing a brown soiled faux leather coat. On his face sat a prominent bushy mustache. Spewing from his lips were obscenities and lots of empty promises. He carried a plastic bag with a 6-pack of beer in one hand, and in the other he held an open can from which he sipped from. This first impression was a lasting one. It was his true nature. The alcohol had him in deep bondage. It was a perpetual cycle of abuse that he brought upon my mom and I. The horrors of living in poverty, in a home afflicted by addiction and self-loathing is nearly unspeakable. Daily life consisted of threats, verbal abuse, accusations, beatings, terrorism, lies, rage, senseless hate. Even in the midst of these unspeakable events, nothing could compare to the suffocating darkness and ever-present feeling of hopelessness. I didn't know God, but you better believe I begged him to take this man out of our lives. After terrorizing us for 2 years, he finally went back to California, leaving behind 2 broken people who were irrevocably traumatized. For the next few months, we lived behind barricaded doors. We lived in fear. Every abnormal sound around the house became a heart-thumping event. We lived in dread of him returning to continue his torturous reign upon us. It took some time, but we eventually accepted that he was really gone. Later that summer, I scored a job ushering people for a concert. It was a gospel concert. It led to the first of many what-if moments in my life. At this concert, I witnessed something completely foreign to me. I witnessed people that were free. They were free to clap, freely and openly shouting. They were free to sing, free to embrace each other. I watched in amazement as they raised their hands and jumped around in spite of who was around them. These people had a joy and a freedom that I had never experienced. Towards the end of the concert, the lead singer took time to talk to us. He told us about his life, his experiences, his struggles, and how he came to experience freedom in his life. Then he invited those that felt led to experience that same freedom to come forward so that he could pray with them. He was talking to me. I was sitting alone in the back row of the auditorium. My heart was pounding. Something was welling up inside of me. I wondered, what if what he is saying was true? What if I could have the same experiences as these people? What if I could be free? There, alone in my seat, I told God that if what these people had was from him, then I wanted the same experiences. I wanted to be free. I prayed a prayer, opened up my heart to Jesus, and accepted him into my life. That's when everything changed for me.